I am Erin Lash, the ARCSI Program Manager. We are the residential arm of ISSA, the Worldwide Association for the Cleaning Industry. I am happy to announce the release of the results from our 2022 benchmarking survey for the residential cleaning industry. With me today is Jeff Gardner from Maximum Performance Group. He is going to share highlights of the survey and what they mean for you. With that, welcome, Jeff.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody. I appreciate you participating, and thanks, Erin, for introducing me. I want to take a few minutes just to share some of the information about the survey. Um, as Erin mentioned, my name is Jeff Gardner from Maximum Performance Group, and we facilitated the survey, so a third party. And in February 2022, we got together and developed the survey questions, and we sent out the survey questions in March and April of 2022. Interestingly enough, everyone that participated we had 100% completion of the 90 total responses. The typical time it took to do the survey was only 11 minutes. Now, this survey is entirely anonymous, and all the responses are confidential and not identifiable in any way. So in May and June, we took a look at the research data, and now we're going to share some of that with you. As far as the topics that we gathered research on, boy, we had a wide range of topics. We have information on gross revenue, gross sales for the recent fiscal, gross margin percentage, factors that help your company grow, gained or lost clients over the last 3 years, number of weekly repeat clients, number of full-time employees, number of employees by job function, hourly rate for cleaning technicians, both entry level and experienced. We also took a look at a big issue for most cleaners, most cleaning companies, is the annual turnover rate, employee benefits offered, labor cost as a percentage of revenue, other non-cleaning services you might be providing, and what are some of the top challenges in your business? To what extent are you using green or sustainable chemicals? And what are some of the top sources that you use to purchase supplies and chemicals? The reason the survey is important to you is that it provides insights to benchmarks and performance indicators of other companies that are very similar to yours. It allows you to evaluate the company benchmarks, your company's benchmarks compared to others, so that you can set your own benchmarks and track progress. When you look at this research data, it doesn't really matter where you are in comparison to the companies as far as where you are compared to some of the other companies. However, what is important is find a starting point, identify your own benchmarks, and then where you are going. So if you have a employee turnover rate of 30% as an example, is that good? Is that bad? I don't know. In comparison to a lot of companies, it might be good. In comparison to others, it might not be so good. But what is important is that if you move that maybe from 30 to 25 from year to year. So generally speaking, we had 88.6% of the survey responses were actually from ARCSI members. We asked the question, how long has your company been in business? And you can see that 63.3% of the respondents have been in business to 3 to 14 years. But we have a good mix across the board. We wanted to know where your company's located, and we hit about half the states or more than half the states in the list, but the highest concentrations, as you can see, are California, Arizona, Florida, Texas, and New York. We asked the question, what is your firm's gross revenue in the most recent fiscal year? And 62% are under the 1 million, but you can see we had respondents in all categories up to 5 million plus. This was an interesting question because after the pandemic, after everything that happened in 2019, 2020, we wanted to find out, what factors helped your company grow in revenue for 2021. And you can see the list across there, an increase in repeat client business, overall rate increase, 38.9%. 45.6% was the number one factor, addition of new clients. That makes sense. You were able to go out and market to new clients, after the pandemic. Sales and marketing of efforts, diversification of services, and those were the key items. What was your increase or decrease in gross sales revenue for 2021 compared to 2020? About half and half, a little bit, 56.2% increased their sales and 44.8% had a decrease in sales, and 9% had no change. It's interesting. I wanted to take a look. One of the things we can do in this research data is we can compare two questions and compare two data points. So I wondered if the increase of more than 10% was specific to a size of business. So we correlated the two different factors and found that, as you can see, about 22% of businesses in the $300 to $599,000 in sales had an increase of 10% or more. Almost the same exact in the 600 to 999,000. And then the highest level was 38.9% had an increase of 10% or more in the 1.1 million to 1.9 million. So you can see the data there just to see how it spreads out over different sizes of businesses. Gross profit margin. Obviously, that's one of your most important numbers. So in the last completed fiscal year, what was your gross profit margin? And you can see we've got everything from 0 to 5% to 46 to 50%. However, 39.3% of the respondents were in a profit range of 16 to 25%. Once again, I decided to correlate comparative on a data point, comparing companies that had a 31. I'll go back to this slide. You can see companies that had a 31 or higher compared to whether you're an ARCSI member or not. So as you can see, 17 of 22 companies with a gross profit margin of 31% or more are ARCSI members. As I said, you know, and I know that one of your biggest benchmarks that you want to keep track of and one of your biggest challenges in your business is your annual employee turnover rate. So in this graph, you can see that the turnover rate from under 10% to 50 or more percent. And the highest ranking number is 21 to 29%. Once again, I thought to myself, what would maybe cause turnover rate? And I don't know, but every company is different. I correlated that with a question about whether you have a formal training program with testing or not. And you can see on the left hand, those that had a formal training program with testing and those that only had on-the-job training. So 25 companies who have formal training programs reported they have less than a 20% turnover rate compared to 11 who don't have formal training. It would appear that formal training is a possible factor that could reduce turnover rate or at least keep it under 20% or under. Over the last 3 years, have you gained clients or lost clients? It's good to see that 41% have gained clients over the last 3 years, and 31% have lost, and 25.6% have remained stable. And once again, I thought, well, let me correlate that, compare it to ARCSI membership. And members of ARCSI are 5 times more likely to have gained clients over the last 3 years than compared to non-members. You know, there's a lot more data that we have in this research study, but I wanted to just share a little bit with you today to give you a sense of what's included. You know, if you do want more information, you know, you can go to arcsci.org or Erin, we've got her email there. And I really want to thank all of you that participated, who took time out of your busy schedules to participate in the survey. I want to thank you so much on behalf of ARCSI and myself. So thank you very much, and I appreciate your time.